What it is, guys? Yo boy Samoan Fan 101 is back. Now, I'm sorry it's been months since I recorded my last video when I said I would start recording more regularly. A little something happened. Our router, that of course we use to connect to the internet and stuff, has been acting crazy these past, couple months maybe? And especially more recent weeks. It has become increasingly difficult to use internet here at the house. Where I live. And I do not live in the street, by the way. Because of that, it's been increasingly difficult just to try to use this web camera so I could record the videos for you guys. Now, with that said, also because during the whole month of October, the table that I use to record, for the most part, has been decorated. And using the computer was hard as hell. I mean, my back would be against the wall, and literally like this, and the computer would be like right here, like inches in front of my face almost. It wasn't even, I tried, it wouldn't have worked recording. And I've been busy the last couple weeks. I went to Texas for a week, so I could not watch any wrestling. I think that was the week that Hell in a Cell happened. I actually left that Sunday when Hell in a Cell happened. So I had to catch them on Hell in a Cell, Raw, SmackDown, all the shows, TNA, or Impact, or Global Force, whatever the hell they call themselves, Lucha Underground, all those shows. Anyway, so with that out of the way, you're probably wondering, okay, what am I going to review first? Well, if you've read the freaking title of the video, I'm not starting off with a WWE review. Because, well, we already know about those. And because I'm more excited to review this show, or shows, I should say. Ultima Lucha 3, which up until about a week and a half ago, I feared was the last time I would ever watch Lucha Underground on TV. And that would have sucked. Now, thankfully, in recent weeks, there has been the announcement that Season 4 will happen. However, there will be a couple changes. First of all, for the talents that signed 7-season contracts, they signed those contracts not knowing that, pretty much expecting they weren't going to be on TV anywhere else at the time. But now, because Lucha Underground is bigger and that they're also going out and wrestling more thanks to the exposure, Lucha Underground finally, and this is a problem with Prince Puma, or Ricochet, when after Season 3 was filmed. And they took the break between Season 3 Part 1 and Part 2. Is that you have to, in terms of wrestling on television, specifically has to be for Lucha Underground. You can't wrestle in Impact. You can't wrestle in New Japan. That's why Hernandez was fired by TNA a couple years ago, because he left Lucha Underground. He went to TNA before Season 1 officially ended. And then Hernandez was fired. So that's basically what happened there. But now they're allowing the talent to work outside of Lucha Underground more. So, Johnny Impact, or Johnny Mundo in Impact. Jeremiah Crane, Taya, Phantasma, who in Lucha Underground is King Cuerno, all those guys. Texano. So, anyways. Just this little thing. Anyway. So, now that all that crap's out of the way, let's get to the actual show. Ultima Lucha 3 was a 5-hour, combined with commercials, it's a 5-hour long show. But what they did a smart thing. They spread it out to 4 weeks of television. The first 3 weeks were 1-hour shows. And then the last week was a 2-hour long show, with only 4 matches. So all those matches got time. There was, a little bit of promo work here. Especially the opening match of that night of Night 4, damn. No, actually, no, not the opening match, the second match of Night 4. Anyway, But if you wanted to watch it straight from beginning to end, which I did, I actually did not watch any of the season shows until any of the finale season. Any episodes that were also in Lucha Tres, I did not watch until the last episode came out, and I watched them all straight through. So I wanted to enjoy like it was a pay-per-view, and that's exactly what I did. And I do not regret it. Because even after that second match, the Hell of War match, my God, I'll talk about that in a second. It's still great fun. So let's get started with I am going to mention the outside segments, the locker room segments, Dario Cueto. I'm going to mention in the finale, package. I'm going to mention all that shit. So without further ado, let's go ahead. The opening match was it was a talent contract match. It was Texano versus... Originally, it was going to be Texano versus Famous B. But then what happened was Famous B, he cut a promo on Texano. Because when building up this match... And look, and by the way, guys, before I continue talking any longer, if you guys do not follow Lucha Underground, or watch it, or even follow it, like know what's going on, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So watch this if you know about Lucha Underground and know what's going on, or if you've actually watched it and you like to see my opinion. But if you do not watch Lucha Underground, you're going to be confused. Go read up on what's been going on the last in season 3. So you have, and even the other season, so you have a context of what's going on. So what happened is, it was going to be Texano versus Famous B. If Famous B won the match, because this storyline's been going on for several months, going back to the Ultimate Opportunity tournament that ended in that great Texano cage match. What happened was what's happening is that Famous B's been trying to get Texano to join his group, his clique. And Texano's constantly refused. He likes Brenda, because Brenda's hot, but he does not give a shit about Famous B. So in order to end it once and for all, Dario Cueto made a match at Ultima Lucha Tres, which turned out to be the opener, that Texano and Famous B will be in a match. And what he literally called a handicap match because Pentagon Dark broke Famous B's arm. So they joked by literally calling it a handicap match because one person technically has a handicap for the moment. In storyline, of course. If Famous B won, if Texano won, end of feud. If Famous B won, Texano's contract would be turned over to Famous B, and he'll officially be one of his guys. Much like what the surprise ended up being. Dario Cueto, because Famous B mentioned this in his promo before the match. Dario Cueto allowed Famous B to have a tag team partner. Make it a literal handicap match, because that's what they joked about calling it. And out came Dr. Wagner Jr. Now, if you recall Ultima Lucha Dos, Dr. Wagner Jr. Was one of Famous B's clients that debuted in Ultima Lucha Dos, and when he beat Son of Havoc. And if you recall, even though they've been treating him like as a joke half the time in Season 3, Dr. Wagner Jr., he's a pretty freaking good worker. So, handicap match started. It was mainly, for the most part, it was Texano versus Dr. Wagner Jr. This match, by the way, only went like, man, I don't know. It went maybe 4 minutes, maybe. It was maybe 5 minutes. It was a relatively short match. But, for the few minutes that we had, it was fun. Especially considering, now, this is kind of an unfair comparison. Brock Lesnar once defended his WWE Championship back in 2002 at one of the UK-only shows. It was called Rebellion. he defended it in a handicap match. It was him and Paul Heyman, his manager, against Brock Lesnar. Not Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar versus Brock Lesnar. No. Against Edge. Similar thing here. You have a manager wrestling in a match. Basically what Famous B is in this storyline. In a match against physically, a better opponent, but he also has a strong opponent on his side. Dr. Wagner Jr. is that. I know it's a kind of an unfair comparison, but, I thought I'd bring it up. This match only went for maybe 5 minutes. It probably didn't even go 5 minutes. Sorry about that. And, but for the 4 to maybe 4.5 minutes that we got, it was actually kind of fun. Texano, for a guy his size, he did a friggin' tope over the top rope. You don't see a lot of guys his size do that. This guy is surprisingly athletic. Famous B tried attacking him on the behind his back with his cast. That he no-sold it, and then we got the first awesome spot in Ultima Lucha 3, which is they went up the stairs. Texano and Famous B did, while Wagner Jr. I think was in the ring, and they went partway up the stairs. What happened is Texano grabbed Famous B by his tie. Because remember, Famous B wears that weird suit, the pink pants and the white shirt and the tie. He grabbed him by his tie and then threw him down the stairs. He wasn't rolling down the stairs. He threw him off the stairs onto the mat on the floor by the ring. That was a lot of fun. And Dr. Wagner hit him with a freaking gas can or something. Where you where you have the fuel. Not a propane tank, but some kind of similar to that in terms of its metal. And you're probably wondering why didn't they just call it DQ? Well, Dario Cueto announced that for all the matches on the shows, there would be leeway given to the wrestlers. No countouts, no disqualifications. And there was a hell of a lot of stipulations, so none of that would have even mattered. A lot of it. Famous B tagged in because apparently he wanted a Texano. That was a disaster because Texano just straight up kicked his ass. Texano, just beat his ass. He hit Dr. Wagner Jr., who was not legal, with his finishing move, which is the power bomb. Brenda came up on the. He was going to give a power bomb to Famous B. Brenda came up on the apron, called over Texano. Of course, hot chick. Texano has to go to her. She kissed Texano, or maybe Texano kissed her. I don't know. Maybe he's got the hots for her. And then all of a sudden, Famous B rolls up Texano, puts his feet on the ropes, and now Texano is now one of Famous B's clients. This match was only 4 minutes. And it was not a bad match. Now, I wish it would have went a little longer, mainly because I just want to see more of what Dr. Wagner Jr. can do. I don't watch AAA, so I don't know how good he is, but by reputation, from what I've heard, he's actually pretty good, especially for his age, because he's in pretty fantastic shape for his age. He's in his 50s. I think he's 50 years old or something. But yeah, it was a decent match. Nice way to open the shows, I guess. It was fun. More than anything, it was entertaining. And now that we're getting Season 4, I wonder what Texano, being Famous B's client, is going to look like. Clearly, he's got to listen to Famous B, or else, he's fired and stuff. Next match was... I'm going to spend some time reviewing it. I don't know how long this review is going to be. It's already 14 minutes long. I want to try to keep it concise so I can get all the matches, but... it'll probably be like my Wrestle Kingdom show. It's going to be a long review. Next match. The Hell of War match between Dante Fox and Killshot. My God, this match was awesome. It was brutal. It was violent. It was bloody. And I loved every fucking second of it. This was an amazing match. Now, I did several, and this was the match where I was spasming out every time there was a big spot. because all the big spots were great, but they also hurt like shit. I would not be one of these. I would not want to be either of these guys coming out of this match, especially Dante Fox, as I'll tell you in a little bit. So you're probably wondering what is a Hell of War match. Basically, it is not 2 out of 3 falls. It is a 3 stages of hell match. You know what 3 stages of hell are. There's been 5 3 stages of hell matches in WWE. 3 of them having Triple H, of course. It's similar to a 2 out of 3 falls match, except each match usually has a stipulation. For example, the very first 3 stages of hell was Steve Austin versus Triple H at No Way Out 2001. A great match, by the way. Austin and Triple H first had a singles match. Then I believe it was a no DQ match, and then it was a steel cage match. Shawn Michaels and Triple H about a year and a half later. The street fight, steel cage, and ladder match. Then it was I almost forgot, at one of the UK only shows, I think. Or maybe it was Judgment. No, it was Judgment Day 2001. Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle had a 3 stages of hell match that gets overlooked. First fall was a singles match, but you had to win by pinfall. Second was a submission match, and third was a ladder match for Kurt Angle's gold medals. And the fourth was Triple H and Randy Orton. And I forget the stipulation. Out of all the ones that I know, that's one's the most forgettable to me. All I know is that the last match was an ambulance match, I think, or maybe a stretcher match actually. But the fifth and last 3 stages of hell match was a lumberjack match. It was a lumberjack match, a tables match, and an ambulance match. That was John Cena and Ryback from Payback a few years ago. Anyway, that's basically what this match was. The first match was a no disqualification match. No, that was the second match. The first match was a first blood match. Now, at first, these guys went with wrestling holds. They fought, ground and pounded at one point. Then things went crazy. They went outside. They beat the hell out of each other. Ladders and chairs were thrown about. Dante Fox has that awesome run along the turnbuckle into like a mini moonsault. He did that to Dante Fox while not to Dante Fox, to Killshot. Dante Fox did that to Killshot while Killshot was on a ladder. The first big spot of the match. It was pretty awesome because these guys were beating the hell out of each other already. The first big spot was Killshot was on the apron, and if you know the layout of the temple, Dante Fox, he walked along the guardrail next to the apron where the ring is, obviously, and Killshot was laying prone on the apron, like half his body was in the ring, half his upper body was out of the ring. I think a steel chair. Dante Fox put a steel chair on his back, I think, and Dante Fox from the guardrail, he must have flown a good maybe 10 feet. He went from the guardrail to hit a giant leg drop on Killshot's back where the chair is, and it was a pretty awesome spot. Crowd loved it. Then Dante Fox got a sheet of glass. You're probably wondering, where the hell would he get a sheet of glass from? Why do they have it? Well, you've seen early episodes of Lucha Underground. You've seen the glass in the windows up where the top of the stairs are. Those have been broken. Storyline reason, they have that glass because in case they need to replace it. That's why this little plate of glass is there. And Dante Fox is making the referee help do it. I gotta mention this. Later, just a couple minutes later. Okay, so both of them are about to do a springboard off the top rope. Dante Fox basically counters Killshot, whatever the hell Killshot's about to do. What happens is Killshot, Dante Fox is going for a Spanish fly, a springboard Spanish fly as a counter for whatever Killshot was about to do. Problem was, Dante Fox, his left foot did not get any of the ring rope. Only his right foot landed on the top rope. His left foot completely missed it. Yet, somehow, he was still able to do a Spanish fly like it was nothing. Dante Fox is freaking awesome. I don't care what anybody says. He is the man. He made a botch look awesome. I mean, not a lot of people can do that. He did. And that just made him look even more awesome. Because, like, I don't need 2 feet to do this shit. Anyway, so what happened was, so the finish of the first fall, the sheet of glass was on a set of steel chairs in the ring by one of the turnbuckles. Dante was gonna probably hit a superplex through the glass. Then Killshot countered. He looked like he was gonna do like a power bomb type move, maybe like a pedigree type move. It looked like he had his arms hooked around. Then Dante Fox, to counter that, hit a backdrop. Killshot went through the glass, which looked like it hurt like shit. Glass sticking out of his body, glass everywhere. And of course, when glass hits the body, usually there's blood. So, without even unmasking him or, you know, making him bleed the normal way, just through the head, made him bleed there. Yep. And it was pretty awesome. And of course, and that was the end of the first fall. Dante Fox won. The second fall was a no disqualification match, which, yes, I know they used weapons and shit before. And I've heard people complain, like, wait a minute. What's the difference between the first fall and the second? What's the difference? The first fall, you have to make someone bleed. The second fall, you have to actually make someone pin or submit. That's the difference. I don't know why people complained about that. I clearly saw the difference. Apparently, some people didn't. Anyway, I'm sorry, that just got me. I'm just like, there's clearly a difference. That's how you finish it. You don't need to pin somebody in a first blood match. That's not the point. Anyway, the very first spot of the, I think it happened as soon as the second fall started, second part of the match started. Killshot was sitting on the top turnbuckle. There was a steel chair sat out right in front of him. Dante Fox went up for his springboard Spanish fly move. It was like the sit out. It was like the sit out Spanish fly. I forget what he calls it. I forget, but if you've seen a Dante Fox match, you know what I'm talking about. He hit it onto a steel chair, and then immediately afterward proceeded to hit a 450 onto Killshot, while Killshot was on a ladder, hanging by the in the ropes. That was awesome. It was at this point that I noticed that the referee, and this was kind of shitty on Lucha Underground's part. Maybe the wrestlers wanted it this way, I don't know, but they did not make any attempt to remove the glass that Killshot was thrown through earlier when the first fall was made. So these guys wrestled on the mat on glass. Both these guys were bleeding. Especially Dante Fox in a second. Killshot hit his double foot stomp Killshot hit it. Dante Fox was sitting up. You know, that's when I really noticed, these guys didn't remove the glass, because his back landed on the glass. I mean, he wasn't completely bleeding. He was here, though. Last spot, I'm just naming the big spots of the match, because it was brutal as shit. These guys beat the hell out of each other. Last spot of the match, second last spot of the second fall. A barbed wire table. If you've seen Monsters Ball matches in TNA, you know what I'm talking about. A barbed wire table set up in the corner earlier in the match. And they were teasing it a couple times. Killshot hit a running power bomb onto Dante Fox through the barbed wire. This wasn't fake barbed wire, dude. This is real barbed wire. And then Killshot, I'm forgetting the move, so bear with me here. Killshot hit his not inverted pile driver. That's what King Cuerno has. He hit his, it was like a packaged move. It was like a package set out powerbomb or something. I forget what it was. Again, if you've seen the match, you know what I'm talking about. Onto the glass. If you've seen and he got the second fall. And of course, immediately after that happened, Dante Fox rolled off of his back. All the blood and shit was everywhere, including a piece of flesh that was hanging off of Dante Fox. It was fucking terrifying. The third match, it was an ambulance match, but not really. They called it a medical evac match, and of course the background for both of these characters is that they were both in the military, they were both brothers in arms. Killshot supposedly abandoned Dante Fox, which if that's true, then Dante Fox is really more the sympathetic one here, not Killshot. And because of their military background, they instead of calling it an ambulance match, they called it a medical evac match, where they put it in a military ambulance. And there was a stretcher, but they didn't even use the stretcher, although that was used. And I remember the very first thing they did when the third fall started, they were sitting on their knees in the ring, and they just proceeded staring at each other like they wanted to murder each other. Proceeded to punch the shit out of each other. They went to the outside of the ring. Cool moves. Dante Fox was gonna get the stretcher. Then Killshot hit a picture-perfect drop kick clean over the stretcher and landed on the stretcher and drop kicked Dante Fox right in his face. That was cool. Then the next big spot, Killshot hit basically what was an attitude adjustment. A Death Valley driver onto the stretcher. That spot right there is where that piece of hanging flesh that I said a second ago was off of Dante Fox. Yes, a piece of hanging flesh fell off of Dante Fox. It was on the stretcher. Fucking brutal. There were blood all over the stretcher too. Keep in mind, both these guys are pretty bloody. Then, he tied Dante Fox up. He was walking towards where the medical evac was, the military ambulance. Dante Fox fought out of it. Killshot said, fuck this. He didn't actually say that, but that's basically what happened. Went up into the guardrail near where Fox was, hit that double drop kick again onto Dante Fox on the stretcher. Of course, this allowed Fox to get free of the stretcher because he was strapped in there. It really surprises me that after this, Dante Fox, surprisingly enough, did a dive. Now, I know this is a high flyer, but the amount of blood and injuries he sustained, I'm surprised he wanted to do a dive at all. But apparently that's what happened. They fought up to where the Lucha Underground band plays. Dante Fox choked Killshot with I think it was like a guitar cord, like an amplifier cord, right around Killshot's neck. He taunted Killshot, and then Killshot hit this guy in the freaking side of his head with a glass bottle. It probably wasn't real glass. It was probably sugar glass, but it was awesome. Killshot delayed falling. Then he fell through another sheet of glass held up by steel chairs and several tables. It was set up earlier in the match. I guess that's just in case, like, if you want to kill each other again. Which is exactly what happened. Dante Fox went through a sheet of glass and 2 tables. Another sheet of glass. I'm surprised Dante Fox was even alive. He was in pain. People in the audience were like, please tell me this guy's okay. The expression on this one guy's face was just priceless. Like, probably in his mind he's thinking, please tell me this guy's alive. Please tell me he's alive. Thankfully he was. Dante Fox did not die. And Killshot then picked up Fox and put him in the medical evac. This match was fucking brutal. My God. And this is only show 1, and I'm a half an hour into the show. This match needed the next 15 minutes I needed to talk about it. It was that fucking brutal. Anyways, Lucha Night Part 2, which is basically the second hour of the show. After that, you're probably wondering how the fuck can they possibly follow up on that. Well, they did by giving us a match that we've wanted to see for a while. Catrina and Ivelisse. Now, I want to step back here. if you've been watching Season 3, I think Season 2 as well, but mainly Season 3, Ivelisse had a boyfriend in Jeremiah Crane. Sami Callihan, Solomon Crow in NXT for the brief time he was there, which was pitiful. So Ivelisse kind of figures out, okay, what the hell is going on? What are you doing? Who are you seeing behind my back? And finally, Crane admits his fault, says that he doesn't love Ivelisse, he loves Catrina, calls her, she walks away, he calls her a bitch. Ivelisse clearly does not like that, and then super kicks him through a bathroom stall. What I want to know is why are all these backstage segments happening in a bathroom stall? That's what I want to know. But and that was the setup for the Catrina and Ivelisse match later on. Now you're probably wondering. Now I'll get to Ivelisse in a second. Now I need to go off on Lucha Underground here, and I know a lot of people love this show. I love this show. But this next match would open part 2. We ended part 1, hour 1, on the best match on the whole card. We started the next hour with the worst match on the whole card. It was a unique opportunity battle royal. It featured Argenis, Cortez. I'm saying this all in alphabetical order. Argenis, Cortez Castro, Joey Ryan, the Rabbit Tribe, which is Paul London, Mala Suerte, and Saltador. Masquerita Sagrada, who of course, you know, Paul London and the Rabbit Tribe have a thing for, I don't know. PJ Black, Ricky Mundo, or Ricky Mendel previously, Son of Madness, who is a bigger version of Son of Havoc, and the Mack and Vinny Massaro. This match went 3 minutes, I think. I mean, it was a really short match. Probably, yeah, it went like 3 minutes. And, this match, it probably would have been fun in those 3 minutes. We've seen fun 3-minute matches in Lucha Underground before. This match, not fun. Why? Because there was one more participant. It featured the return of Season 1 wrestler, Pimpinela Escarlata. And the show's doing so good, too. Look, I get the appeal for some people, but I'm going to say right now, I am not a fan of Pimpinela Escarlata. I think it's not the gimmick. It's not even the gimmick so much, because the gimmick of Pimpinela Escarlata is that he's a dude dressed up as a chick and has a thing for guys. Okay, I get that. Pimpinela Escarlata returned, and I'm gonna be the one to say it. I fucking hated this match. This match sucked. It was not a dud. I'll give it 1 star, and I'll put all my star ratings as soon as I can upload this video, I'll put it in the description below what all the ratings are. But this match sucked, and a lot of it had to do with the center attention on one Pimpinela Escarlata. He may have done a couple moves here and there, but all he did was kiss people over and over and over and over again. It just pissed me off. And that's the one thing that I'm glad Season 2 did. Pimpinela Escarlata did not come back for Season 2. Yeah, when Escarlata returned, that groan that you heard in the background probably was me. I groaned when he came back, because I knew as what we were gonna get. A couple moves, but Pimpinela Escarlata is not that good of a wrestler, and from what I've seen in Lucha Underground, and on top of that, all he does is kiss people. I am reminded of the very first Aztec Warfare match. That's the match where Prince Puma pinned Johnny Mundo last to become the first ever Lucha Underground champion. And Escarlata was in that match. Escarlata did a couple moves again, hit a horrible drop kick, and then was trying to kiss people over and over again. Finally, got the shit kicked out of him by Ivelisse, and then Son of Havoc hit him with a 450 splash. No, it wasn't a 450. It was a shooting star press, and finally pinned him. But that segment of the match, for me, completely sucked. That was the one part of the match I didn't like. That and the whole sexy star thing, which is just sexy star. After the whole thing with her and Rosemary, I have no respect for sexy star. So people are getting eliminated. Rabbit Tribe, of course, got rid of Son of Madness in a cool spot. Masquerita Sagrada, hilariously, speared Cortez Castro and Joey Ryan, who've been feuding recently, out of the ring because they were on the apron over the top rope. And this is... oh, my God. This is one reason why I hated Pimpinela Scarlett in this match. She doesn't just kiss people. She... Paul London, who's crazy in this character, was on the top turnbuckle. I don't know why he was there. Escarlata walked up to him, put his face in his balls, and then pushed him off the top turnbuckle. And then I think she hilariously eliminated, I think it was Mala Suerte. And then, you know, I forget who. I think it was the midget. Masquerita Sagrada eliminated the other guy of the Rabbit Tribe. But my God. I gotta continue here. So, Pimpinela Scarlett does a arm drag to Argenis, over the top rope, and then, like an idiot, he falls onto the floor as well as Argenis. I hated Escarlata in this match. First of all, I never, ever have to see, in a wrestling match, one guy put another guy's face into someone else's balls. Sadly, I had to watch that here. That was not funny. That was disgusting. I fucking hated it. It was just horrible. And then proceeded to eliminate. So basically, Escarlata returns. He's the focus of the match, and then he eliminates himself like an idiot. Why was he back? I'm sorry I'm yelling. I'm sorry, but I'm so pissed off here. Why was he back? This killed the match for me. It was horrible. PJ Black went on to... I need to continue here before I kill myself. PJ Black and Ricky Mundo teamed up on the Mack. It didn't work. Mack eliminated Black and Mundo and Ricky, the former Ricky Mandel, last. Then Dario Cueto came out, cut a promo, and announced that the unique opportunity was a shot at the Trios Championships, which was currently held by the Reptile Tribe, which was Drago, Pindar, and Vibora, the tall 7-foot man. But of course, if you know what unique opportunities are, there's always a catch. Catch here: his partners would be Killshot and Dante Fox, who the week previous just murdered each other and were probably really hurt. That was the drawback. That was the thing. Outcome, and now here's the next match: Ivelisse and Catrina. Now the story here is that for two Ultima Luchas in a row, Catrina has cost Ivelisse a match. Physically has cost Ivelisse a match. Ivelisse hates this shit. Says, "Hey, Ultima Lucha Tres, I want to see you and I want to beat your ass at Ultima Lucha Tres." Catrina says yes. So a match was scheduled. Ivelisse got hurt during Season 3. And for the longest time, I'm like, okay, match is off apparently. Apparently not. Ivelisse came back from injury and faced Catrina in what was basically a kind of like a street fight type match. Not really. But it was this was not a match. It was a fight. Catrina, by the way, came out in what looked like what would look like someone that you would see dress up for sex, which was hot. She had pigtails on, and they were like in curls and shit. So she looked hot, and she hit Catrina over the head with several bottles. She retreated into Dario Cueto's office. It was a fight, And Ivelisse, she dyed her hair red. So, of course, maybe that was done on purpose this way because of the amount of time she was going to bleed. Because, like with the previous week, there was blood. And Dante Fox, and Ivelisse bled, gusher from the head. She hit Catrina's head against one of the stair rails, which was, of course, made of metal. She constantly banged Catrina. Not sexual. Constantly banged Catrina's head against a chair in the audience. They brawled through the temple. Catrina hit her. It was like a package. Like I don't know what move this was. It basically what I presume was her finisher. And what happened is, and Ivelisse kicked out. Catrina went to grab the stone. And speaking of the stone, I just got to briefly mention this. Before the match started, we briefly saw Muertes with Catrina. He was not at ringside. Apparently, she wanted to face Ivelisse alone. It was her problem. Muertes came out wearing a suit, which was just odd to me because I've never I think he may have won one before, but it's still odd to me that Muertes wore a suit. Anyway, Catrina grabbed the stone. They fought over the stone. Ivelisse grabbed the stone and in a bit of what you would call poetic justice, because this is what happened in Ultima Lucha 1, back in Season 1. Hit Catrina over the head with the stone, hit a DDT, and pinned Catrina. This was a smoke and mirrors match, but this match was so entertaining. If you recall the earlier segment I just mentioned with Jeremiah Crane came out with a hammer and hit Ivelisse after the match was over in the back of her left knee, where I guess she was previously hurt, and then proceeded to attack her with the hammer. The breakup completely official. And now Ivelisse is hurt again. Hopefully she's better in storyline by the time Season 4 happens. Then we had one of the other great matches. We ended with another great main event. It was a mask versus hair match. Fenix against Marty the Moth Martinez. This match was great. It was hard-hitting. Again, there was blood. In the beginning, Marty's sister, Mariposa, interfered a couple times on her behalf, but it did lead to a really good comeback. What happened was, Moth at one point was on the outside. Fenix hit a over-the-top rope tope. Marty the Moth, pulled Mariposa in his way. And so Mariposa got hit with the tope, not Marty. Mariposa did. And just to backtrack for a second here, the reason why this match is happening, basically Marty the Moth has a thing for a ring announcer, Melissa Santos. In storyline, Fenix and Melissa Santos are an item. Marty the Moth is jealous of Fenix. He wants the mask off, and that's why they're feuding, because Marty the Moth is a crazy bastard. Then Mariposa, in reaction to what her brother did, walked away and then flipped her off. Flipped him off, I mean. He flipped off Marty the Moth Martinez, which is hilarious. Then Marty the Moth hilariously tripped while getting back in the ring. At one point in this match, Marty the Moth ripped open Fenix's mask. And we've seen this before. We saw this in the Grave Consequences match with Fenix and Muertes. We saw this in a rematch that they had, which was for Muertes' Lucha Underground title, a match which Fenix won. But unlike those times, Fenix got his mask ripped open, but we basically saw pretty much his face. He didn't rip his mask open. He ripped his mask almost in two. We actually saw a couple seconds there. We basically saw his face. At least a lot of his face. It was awesome. By this point, Fenix in the match was bleeding. I think he hit him on an exposed turnbuckle, his head. Fenix was bleeding, so more blood. Yay. So there was still some good wrestling. Even though it was brawling, it was also wrestling. Fenix at one point hit a rolling cutter onto the apron on Marty the Moth. Hit a top rope splash. Didn't get the pin though. There was an awesome move. God, I don't know what to call it. Basically, what happened is Marty the Moth had Fenix in a backbreaker position. A-Train, well, I think it was A-Train's old finish. Then he flipped him over, so now his stomach is facing the mat. And then, as he's doing this, he puts out his knee. So basically, he was in a backbreaker move, flipped him over onto his stomach, and hit him in the face with basically what was a code breaker. That was awesome. That was a pretty good spot. More great spots in this match. You know, Marty the Moth, the physically imposing one. Fenix hit a top rope Spanish fly on Marty the Moth from the top rope, the top turnbuckle onto the mat. That did not end the match. Marty the Moth answered back with another brutal move by hitting Fenix with probably the sickest curb stomp I've ever seen. And we've seen Seth Rollins do great curb stomps back when he was using the move. This was even more brutal, somehow. Then, Marty the Moth went over to his lunchbox. If you've seen Marty the Moth matches recently, you know he carries a lunchbox with him. I was hoping a sandwich was in the lunchbox and he'd use it as a weapon. That did not happen. He pulled out a pair of scissors to, I guess, to cut him. And it was brutal. Melissa Santos could not take any more of this. She went on the apron. She said she'll be with Marty. Just trying to make Marty stop hurting Fenix. Because he took the scissors and put it right in his freaking forehead. Like near where his eye is. Like right here. Right here. It was brutal. Melissa Santos, she had her shoes off by this point. Because I think she wears heels when she announces. Pushed him. She was in the ring by this point because Marty pulled her in. Pushed him off. Then kicked him right in the balls. Fenix then hit a running knee into the back of Marty's head. Hit that springboard 450. The way he does it, it's like he jumped from the middle rope to the top rope and then there's a 450. Pinned, as well as Melissa Santos helped apparently. Pinned Marty the Moth Martinez. Match was over. Melissa Santos looked hot. While Fenix is full of blood, plants a big kiss on him. So Melissa Santos is sick apparently. Marty the Moth, the referee, I think it's Elias something or something Elias. Marty Elias. Referee Marty Elias says, hey, you got to get your hair cut. Marty flips him off, says, fuck you. Goes up the stairs. We see Mariposa there. And we think Mariposa's with Marty. She hits him on the head with a steel chair, handcuffs him to both ends of the stairway guardrail, and then basically helps Fenix and Melissa Santos shave his head. They didn't shave him bald. Probably even worse. They shaved like half of his head. There was still a little bit of hair there, but they shaved a good part of his head. And it just looked sick. I mean, absolutely sick. It was awesome. It was awesome. And that ended part 2. Now, hang on. My mom just came home. So when she goes to the door, you're going to see me get up. And I'm going to say, hey, ignore what I have to say. So when that happens, I'll do that. Part 3 started out. This was probably the weakest of the shows. Was it? No, not really. There was really no weak show. Because even though the opening of part 2 had a horrible battle royal, which I freaking ranted on enough, but it ended with a great match. So it at least balanced out. And it had an entertaining Catrina Ivelisse match. Part 3 opened up with, if I recall correctly, part 3... Oh. I am recording. So please ignore me. Okay? I've been needing to record for a while, so trying to, you gotta find time for it. So while you were gone, I thought perfect timing. But I'm still recording right now, I'm not finished, so just try not to talk to me, just ignore me, okay? Come on. So, I'm back. See, only took a second. Sorry about that. Part 3 opened up with Sexy Star and Taya in a last Luchadora standing match. Basically a last one standing match. Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell had a great last woman standing match. It was a last knockout standing match, to be specifically, back at Slammiversary of 2013. This was not as good as that, though it was still a lot of fun to watch. After the whole freaking Sexy Star Rosemary situation, I was hoping that Taya would just murder her and win. That did not happen. I'll get to it. Taya came out with a bat. Ivelisse came out with... Ivelisse. Sexy Star came out with her stupid freaking staff of... I don't know what it is. All I know is that it looks stupid. And that she's not that good of a wrestler. I think she came out wearing brass knucks. No. Taya came out with the knucks and offered it to Sexy Star like an idiot. There was some decent wrestling here. But I gotta mention this. Because in the ring, Sexy Star hit Ivelisse with a couple of, I keep saying Ivelisse. Taya. Gotta remember that. Taya. She had Taya with a couple of Hurricane Ranas. And then Taya was outside. She was gonna hit him, supposedly, with another Hurricane Rana. She was, quote-unquote, running on the apron. It looked like she was barely jogging, like it was like mini-walking. It looked horrible, and I'm like, I hope the Lord that she doesn't actually hit that Hurricane Rana. Thankfully, she didn't. Taya made her pay by putting her in her powerbomb position, just powerbombing her into the steel guardrail. That was awesome. Taya tried to, Taya also hit like a running senton sort of move while Sexy Star was on the chairs. Sexy Star got out of the way. Taya hit chairs. Then they were in a slapping contest. Sexy Star then graded. She rammed Taya through a door, and then she constantly rammed her face onto one of the steel windows because they're in that area. You have like steel windows or something like that, for security reasons. And just first rammed her head, and then grated her head like a freaking cheese grater onto it, and of course. What else? Blood. Theme of Ultima Lucha Trace. Blood. And Taya came out bleeding. Sexy Star then hit a glass bottle, probably sugar glass, onto Taya's head. Chopping contest ensues. They were beating the crap out of each other. Then they went up to where a cameraman was. And the cameraman was still there. Because there was a table set up there. I think, if I recall correctly, Taya set up the table. May have been Sexy Star, but I think it was Taya. They went up to... It was near the announce booth where Matt Striker and Vampiro was. They went up to where this cameraman was. It's like a small spot meant for, certain camera shots. And they brawled up in there. And... this cameraman, I have to give him some brass balls. Apparently, he was probably scared out of his mind, but he stayed. It was funny, but he stayed. They crashed through the 2 tables. I think it was actually 2 tables, if I recall correctly. Sexy Star barely got up. Called for the bell. Sexy Star wins, last luchador standing, and let's hope to God that is the last time we see Sexy Star in the temple, because after the whole thing with her and Rosemary, Lucha Underground should just cut bait with her and fire her. If they don't, shame on them. Next match, Reptile Tribe against the team of the Mack, Dante, Fox, and Killshot. who, as I mentioned earlier, murdered each other in part 1. Cobra Moon was out there, and I have to say, Cobra Moon in that outfit, she just looks completely ridiculous. Maybe that's the point. Hilarious. They both came out. Killshot and Dante Fox did bandaged. Clearly, they should be bandaged. In fact, if I recall correctly, Fox came out wearing a shirt because, of course, they don't want him to show. They don't want him to bleed too much. It was still kind of fresh. His back still was clearly in a lot of pain. At first, they were arguing against each other, but then as the match went on, they kind of just became a cohesive unit. You gotta remember, these guys at one point were brothers in arms. They fought in character, of course. They fought in war together. So, they fought like brothers in arms do. They fought together like they were brothers. Vibora came in, hit a double chokeslam on them, which was pretty cool. Then Drago and Killshot had a few exchanges. That was a lot of fun to watch. Pindar came in, just destroyed Killshot. I love the one part what I loved. He flung Killshot straight up in the air and then got him with a cutter. DDP would be proud. Then there was another cool shot when he was going to do... I think he may have been doing it again. But then Killshot, like a pro, landed both of his feet onto Pindar's shoulders and then did like a somersault or something. But that was really cool to watch. Killshot then tagged in the Mack. He went wild. He beat on all 3 guys, including Vibora. He took him briefly out. A bunch of moves. Man, and even hit a moonsault on Drago. I tend to forget how athletic for a fat man that the Mack is. I tend to forget how great and how athletic the guy is sometimes. Speaking of athletic, Vibora came in and had an exchange with Dante Fox, which was awesome. Both of them teamed up on Vibora. Didn't work at first. Then all of them were just coming in. There were, every freaking kicks and flips everywhere. We saw that one flip move that I told you earlier about that Dante Fox did on Killshot into the ladder. He did it here to Drago. At one point, after he did a dive over the top rope, he hit over the turnbuckle and steel pillar tope, and his shirt was off by this point, and so was his bandage, like a white bandage wrapping. We got to see his back. My lord, his back is so chewed and scarred up, including the piece of missing flesh that should be there. It was just disturbing. It was awesome, but it was disturbing. I mean, my brother recently got a piece of his finger cut off. It was like this top part, like right here. And surprisingly, it's healing very well. And yeah, apparently he also knows what it's like to have a piece of flesh just come off you. It was horrible. And this we saw in this match, I'm like, my lord, the punishment this guy did. He did that sit-out springboard Spanish fly on a Pindar. Apparently, Cobra was trying to tell Pindar to finish it. Pindar basically said to screw off. He wanted to continue the match and do his own thing. Big mistake. Dante Fox hit that springboard Spanish fly. I think, if I recall correctly, the Mack had a Stone Cold Stunner, which is finish in this Lucha Underground. And then Killshot hit that top rope stomp to the head, or shoulders or whatever. Mack landed on him, and 1, 2, 3. New Trios champions, Mack, Dante Fox, Killshot. Team Black, you may say. I say Team Awesome, because they are great. Main event of Part 3 was... Man, I'm going an hour here, but screw it, I don't care. Main event of Part 3 was Pentagon Dark and Son of Havoc in a ladder match for the Gift of the Gods Championship. Which, by the way, I gotta say, it's a really awesome looking belt. Really big, but it's awesome. And you're probably wondering, well, why are they facing each other for this? Isn't it usually in like a 7-man match or something like that? It was. Problem is, on 2 different people, Pentagon, at the same time, Pentagon and Son of Havoc got pins on 2 different people at the same time. So Dario Cueto set up the match. It would be a ladder match in Ultima Lucha for the title. Now, and this was the best match on part 3. This was week 3. And it was a ladder match, but let's face it, this was basically a TLC match. This reminded me of WrestleMania 2000 back in, well, 2000, when it was supposed to be a triple threat ladder match. And they used chairs and tables, oh my, and it basically became a TLC match. But it was not a TLC match. Same thing happened here. Not TLC, but they turned it into one. Used ladders, hurt like crap, I'll bet you. The first big spot of the match was, and this is just, it's funny, but it also probably sucks. So Pentagon was sitting on the turnbuckle, sitting on the floor, in the ring. I mean, yeah, hang on. I needed a drink. He was sitting on the mat against the turnbuckle in the corner, and Son of Havoc put a ladder upright next to his little pentagons, shall we say, and then hit a steel chair into the ladder right onto this guy's nuts. I mean, I would hate to be Pentagon because that probably hurt. I hope he was wearing a cup. I really hope so. Pentagon made him pay by hitting him with a chair, thankfully. There was a spot where they were on a mini ladder leaning against another turnbuckle. They hit like a back suplex, and both of them crashed through a table. There was this awesome spot where Son of Havoc went for a shooting star press, and then Pentagon hit a cutter. I was reminded of 7 years ago when Evan Bourne, that happened to Evan Bourne. He hit the Airborne, which was the name of his shooting star press. Randy Orton hit the RKO. It was an awesome spot, and this was an awesome spot here too. At one point they were both battling with chairs. Probably the sickest spot of the match, I have to say, was there was a set of 4 chairs that were all, set up next to each other. Pentagon walked on the chairs, got Son of Havoc into the package pile driver position, and hit Son of Havoc's head right through the chairs. One of them completely dented. Another one was dented, but one was completely dented. Then the final spot of the match, there was a ladder set up, normally like below the title, below the belt. Then there was a second ladder set up between the top and middle ropes, and the other end was through one of the steps on the setup ladder. And then there was a table right next to it. They were battling on the ladder. That was between the rope and the ladder, and the setup ladder, I should say. Then Son of Havoc went for a punch. Pentagon hit. It was either I can't tell what it was. It was either a choke slam or a uranage. I think it was a uranage, and hit the uranage, I think, to Son of Havoc through that table, which it looked like he barely hit, but it was still brutal nonetheless. And then Pentagon reached up, grabbed the giant belt that is the gift of the gods, and it was a really good match. It wasn't like great, but it was really freaking good. They were missing that one little thing. Still a lot of fun though. Still the best match on the card. We ended the show with Vampiro talking to his new student, Prince Puma. And I think it was the last time actually we ever saw his red and black mask, which I have to admit was pretty awesome. And then Pentagon, and then we saw like a creepy image of Vampiro. He had his makeup on, then the lights went blue, and it looked scary. I would hate to be the guy on the other side of whoever pisses this man off. I would never want to piss off Vampiro. Then we come to part 4, which is the 2-hour last show. I can't believe it's already been an hour. I'll try my best to keep this concise, although I make no promises. We get a final little opening promo package of the previous weeks. Puma becoming Pentagon's student. Johnny Mundo winning the Lucha Underground Championship. Rey Mysterio mentoring Dragon Azteca Jr. The opening match. There was only 4 matches on the show. We thought it was 3, but I'll get to that. Opening match was Dragon Azteca Jr. against Matanza. You know, Dario Cueto's brother. In a steel cage match. This match was actually really short for a 2-hour show. This went all of 8 minutes, I think? Yeah, it went like 8 minutes. And you know, it was fun. I'm not going to say it wasn't. It was kind of similar to Dr. Wagner Jr. Famous B against Texano. It was short. It could have gone longer. It could have been something really good. But for what we got, it was still fun. Hopefully now with some of the talent leaving Lucha Underground, it gives Dragon Azteca Jr. more of a chance to shine. Because Season 3, while it hasn't been... Oh, Season 2 and Season 3 mainly. It hasn't been too great to Dragon Azteca Jr. He's had some good matches, but he needs a push. And here's a guy that couldn't really go. Really athletic. He's also kind of tall for a luchador. Most luchadors, of course, are short. This guy's actually somewhat tall compared to some other guys. First match of the... and this is why they need to push him. Like, big time for Season 4. First spot of the match. First spot of the match. Not even first move. First spot. Dragon Azteca dodges a clothesline by Matanza, climbs up on the top of the cage like this guy is Spider-Man, and then hits a moonsault off the top of the cage. I was afraid this man was going to kill himself a la Kurt Angle. Because Lord knows he's hurt himself doing that. You know, they had you know, some great back and forth. Matanza, of course, at one point dominated. He was throwing Dragon Azteca against the steel cage, and then Dragon Azteca was making a comeback, going after Matanza. Matanza hit to counter this, he hit a big belly-to-belly suplex. It wasn't even a belly-to-belly suplex. He just kind of threw him, like, similar to a belly-to-belly, and hit him, and he went through the cage. And I could not help but be reminded of 2 things. Three things, actually. One, when Big Show first debuted back in 1999 in WWF at the time, and was throwing Steve Austin against the hard steel cage. Steel cage opened up. Austin found his way out, and he won. The second time, I believe, was, if I recall, it was an ECW. It was leading up to WrestleMania 23, the hair versus hair match with Trump and Vince. It was Umaga and Bobby Lashley, ECW champion Bobby Lashley. He beat Hardcore Holly in less than 5 minutes, which was the stip in the steel cage. Umaga taunted him on the outside. Bobby Lashley, he was just awesome, and he just crashed his own body through the cage. That was really cool to watch. And then, that was back in 2007, I think. And then, there was just earlier this year, Big Show and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman hit a running power slam to Big Show, and Big Show crashed through the steel cage, not the door. It was one of the steel cage parts. And it happened here, although this happened, technically, was taped a year ago. So, I don't know, maybe WWE ripped that off. I don't know. Dario Cueto, because he's the brother and the promoter, says, screw this. The only way you're going to be able to win is by pinning him. You can't win, because he didn't want Dragon Azteca to win. They wrestled for a second. Azteca and Matanza did. He briefly incapacitated Matanza. He went after Cueto, beat the holy crap out of him, tore off his jacket. It wasn't a leather jacket. His suit jacket. Ripped his shirt apart, was beating him up big time. Then Matanza went to just kill Azteca. Threw him back in the ring, like the monster he is. Just threw him around. At one point, I was expecting Suplex City to happen, because Matanza's done that before. As Dragon Azteca was going for a comeback, then out comes Black Lotus. Now, much like Ivelisse, Black Lotus has been missing for almost all of Season 3. Although, I think the reason why she was missing is because she was pregnant. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe she was just hurt. I don't know what happened. Anyway, she went up to the top of the steel cage. She had a crossbody onto Dragon Azteca, and then kind of did like a weak like a Carmella style super kick. If you know how she does her super kick, that's what Black Lotus did here. Super kicked him in the face. Matanza went for the it isn't the end of the world, but that the spinning power slam. And pinned Dragon Azteca with the God, what is it called? Is it? I'm sorry, I gotta look this up. Hang on. I would feel terrible if I did not figure out what the name of this is. It is called the Wrath of the Gods. That's what it's called. Awesome name. He hit him with the Wrath of the Gods. Got the pin. Matanza was celebrating on the middle turnbuckle. Then Black Lotus went over there with both of her hands, cupped her hands like this. I think that's how it happened. But either way, she low blowed Matanza while he was on the turnbuckle, and hit him with a power bomb because he got hit in the balls. I mean, of course he's weakened. Went over to Cueto and basically said, "You lied to me. You lied to me." Because the storyline's been going on for all 3 seasons now, is that Dario Cueto was responsible for the death of Black Lotus's parents, and Dragon Azteca, the original Dragon Azteca, not Dragon Azteca Jr., went over to confront, because Black Lotus went to confront Cueto. Cueto told her this lie. The original Dragon Azteca went over to get her. Black Lotus killed Dragon Azteca, and as it turned out, Dragon Azteca was innocent. And only now does she figure out that this lying scumbag is, what else? A lying scumbag. Maybe you should have figured that out. Although, in hindsight, that doesn't make any sense. It didn't make the finish of the match, now after they explained it, didn't even make any sense to me. Because she didn't attack Matanza. She attacked Dragon Azteca Jr. So I have no idea. So the ending of the match to me was just weird. Aside from that, it was a nice fun little sprint. It was only like 8 minutes. I wish it could have gone longer. I know what kind of talent Dragon Azteca Jr. is. I've seen some of his work. He's really good. But, for the little sprint it was still fun. Next we had a triple threat match. It was a triple threat elimination match between Muertes, Cage, and Jeremiah Crane. This match was insane. Like with the previous weeks, again, more blood ensued. All 3 of these men, by the time the match was over, was bleeding. Both of them were hitting various moves on each other. Boots, super kicks. Muertes had a choke slam on Crane. The first big the big spot of the night. I mean, there was a couple really good spots though. At first, it was just plain wrestling. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get just a really good wrestling match. Then, of course, they did their dives, which I gotta say, Cage hitting a dive is just insane. I mean, why is the WWE trying to hire this guy? Oh, probably because Cage is probably on those 7-season contracts. He's probably one of those guys. The first, now I forget exactly what happened here, but at some point during this match, I didn't see it. I don't remember exactly when, but at some point during this match, Jeremiah Crane hunting wabbits. I'm sorry. Jeremiah Crane got his face all bloodied up. He was bleeding. I think he may have actually rammed his head into an apron, or maybe it was against the steel guardrail. I don't know. But whatever the point is, Cage set up a couple tables on the outside, Crane grabbed a trash can with actual trash in it and just hit both of these guys in the head with trash cans, with the trash can. And by this point, Jeremiah Crane was just bleeding, a gusher. It was really evident. Then Mil Muertes had a choke slam through Crane, through a table on the other side of the ring. Then some of us tend to forget that even though Mil Muertes is booked as a monster, technically he's still a high flyer. It's a little bit of a high flyer as a Judas Messias or El Messias or whatever in Mexico. So he did a friggin' Hurricane Rana, a tilt-a-whirl, Hurricane Rana onto Cage, which was just amazing. As a big man to do that, it's really cool to do. Cage and Muertes went singles for a little bit. They hit some big moves. Cage hit a lion salt, which was awesome to see. Jeremiah Crane then came back. He got these, I don't know what to describe them. You know how in Indian manicures they always have the needles sticking out? Well, here he got what looked like chopsticks, except there must have been something like metal or something. It was pointy on one of the ends, pointed chopsticks basically made out of wood. He grabbed a handful of them and just like this, like a hammer almost, he just smashed it right into Cage's mohawk, into his skull. The sticks were in his skull. It was insane. Then he hit him in the boot. Kicked him in the face a couple times. Then, with some of the sticks still in Cage's head, he had a DDT onto Cage. I am so happy that Cage did not turn his head even more, or else those sticks would have entered his brain and we probably would have a dead man. Dangerous, but it was awesome to look at, I will say. Jeremiah Crane, this was reminding me too much of the Hell of War match, a little bit with the crazy spots. Jeremiah Crane got another just in case emergency sheet of glass. Mil Muertes went for a spear, instead rammed his right shoulder into the glass. That looked like it sucked. Cage also by this point is bleeding. Remember, sticks in the head. Of course, blood's gonna come out where the sticks were put in. And at one point, I think, if I recall correctly, Cage got a hammer, just belted Muertes right in the face with it. Best spot, here was the best spot of the match. Basically, what happened was, Mil Muertes at one point was incapacitated. He was put on the two tables that were set up next to the ring outside. Cage, like a awesome man, he got Jeremiah Crane. And he's done this before. He's pulled someone who was on the apron and did a suplex into the ring. Cesaro's done that spot. What happened here? He got Jeremiah Crane into the suplex position, suplexed him onto Mil Muertes through the tables on the outside. That was the best spot of this match. It was awesome to look at. Cage hit his finishing move, which looked like there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but he hit his finishing move, and not the Steiner driver. It wasn't the Steiner driver, it was the other move. It was the Weapon, I think it was Weapon X or something like that. He called it Weapon X. Then he eliminated Crane. Then it was for a little while, it was a singles match between, it was just a straight singles match, no weapons, no nothing. Between Cage and Muertes, it was a lot of fun. Crane came in to attack Cage, hit Cage in the back with a chair. Cage retaliated by hitting both Muertes and Crane with that awesome discus clothesline he's got. Went for another discus. Muertes then got a surprise, surprised him by getting him in the STO position. Hit his finishing move. I forget what he calls it, but it's basically an STO onto the steel chair. Then he beat Cage and he won the little power glove. We kind of forgot to mention the whole point of this feud was after. It wasn't a power glove. That's what some people call it. Basically, they call it the gauntlet. The storyline is supposed to grant the user really insane amount of power. That's what the ultimate opportunity was for that I briefly mentioned earlier between Cage and Texano. Cage beat Texano won the gauntlet, which some people have called the Nintendo Power Glove. Then Muertes posed, lights went out. When lights came back on, King Cuerno. We haven't seen King Cuerno since Ultima Lucha Dos. It was in the death match, the Texas death match. It was Cuerno and Muertes. Cuerno appeared in the ring like a la The Undertaker, kicked Muertes right in the face, then hit Catrina with a slam, beat the crap out of Mil Muertes, then hit his it was like a Death Valley driver style move. It was basically a Michinoku driver. He hit a Michinoku driver onto Muertes, grabbed the gauntlet, and then posed with it on the stairs, and then walked out. And of course, he's grown facial hair since this time, so you can see a little bit of what remains of his mustache, which is hilarious. Next match, Prince Puma goes up against Johnny Mundo for the Lucha Underground Championship. Puma is in his original colors, yellow and his yellow colors with a little. It's the outfit he wore in Season 2. And near the end of Season 1. Because in the beginning of Season 1, it was like all yellow and orange. And there's a little bit of black trim on the bottom. These guys had, what else? A great match. Move after move after move on each other. It was awesome. Including a great spot where Puma hit a... Styles has done this too, although he did it reverse. He did a springboard on one end of the turnbuckle, then went to the other end of the turnbuckle, and then hit a shooting star press from the springboard rope, top rope. That was awesome. Great moves, just awesome, great wrestling. The normal shtick that we've seen before in these matches, but they're, you do it over and over again simply because they're great. Spanish flies. Johnny Mundo almost hit the springboard kick onto the referee. Thankfully, did not hit the referee. Prince Puma went for basically Kofi Kingston's Trouble in Paradise move. Hit the referee right in the head. Puma went for a blow with the kick. Went to kick him in the balls. That didn't work. He hit him with a discus forearm. He went for the 630 splash. But that's when the Worldwide Underground came in. Johnny Mundo's faction. Jack Evans came out. He got kicked in the face, but then they ganged up on him. There was a nice little brainbuster spot where it was kind of similar to the Dead of the Dragon move that Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly have. One guy hits a super kick, the other guy does a brainbuster. Jack Evans does that awesome looking kick. Taya, by the way, came out looking like she came right out of the 80s. Short shorts, orange shirt, neon. I'm just like, this woman would have been great for Back to the Future. I don't know what she was wearing, to be completely honest. They were beating on him. Prince Puma kicked out of their moves. Then, for the second time this season, I believe, Angelico made his return. Thankfully, not diving off the top of Dario Cueto's office. He attacked Worldwide Underground. Just kneed them all in the face. Mundo hit a somewhat protected chair shot accidentally to Taya in the head. Clearly, he did not want to hurt her too much, being that they are engaged in real life. Thankfully, he has dumped the horrible anchor that is Melina Perez. Ricky Mundo then came out. Before Ricky Mundo came out, I gotta mention this. Angelico did a dive to to Johnny Mundo, I should say, onto one side of the ring. The referee could not take any more. This was amazing. Referee could not take any more of the crap that Worldwide Underground was giving him. So he nearly killed himself doing it because he hit his back on the apron. He hit a dive. The referee hit a dive over the top rope onto the rest of Worldwide Underground, except for Ricky Mundo. Match was still going on. They hit a couple moves on each other. Puma and Johnny did. Ricky Mundo came out with a kendo stick, got kicked right in the face. Then Angelico chased the rest of Worldwide Underground out of the temple with the kendo stick, and because he wanted revenge. Johnny Mundo at one point hit a top rope. That top rope move where he kind of does. I forget what it was. Forget I mentioned that. Still, great move after great move. Hit the end of the world, didn't work, which is formerly Starship Pain. That didn't work. try to hit for a second end of the world. Mundo, not Johnny Mundo. Prince Puma blocked. Then did the kind of the Finn Balor style drop kick to the corner to Mundo, and he hit the corner. Hit the 630 splash. Puma is your new Lucha Underground champion. We see Vampiro smile. It was fun. Then Dario Cueto comes out, cuts a promo, basically says, "Congratulations, first ever 2-time champion." Now, usually I make new title matches a week in advance, but then he says, "Rules are like bones; they are meant to be broken." So Pentagon, apparently, Pentagon Dark came to him last week with the gift of the gods, saying, "I want a title shot next week." Now he usually Pentagon came out, gift of the gods. Basically, we gotta get an quote unquote impromptu title match between Pentagon and Prince Puma. This match, it was not that long of a match. It actually went only like 8.5 to 9 minutes. It was less than 10 minutes at least. But it was still a really good match for what we got. It was still a very good match. Puma was like a bat out of hell, try to get the momentum. Pentagon said, "Screw that." Hit him with a super kick, hit him with a nice backcracker move, and then broke his arm. Although Prince Puma simply put it back in its socket, according to Matt Striker. And he bandaged it up. And basically, it was a one-armed Prince Puma against Pentagon. And he was still great. A one-armed Prince Puma is better than probably 90% of the WWE roster right now. They were wrestling smart. They weren't wrestling just a regular match because they knew they couldn't do it here because they just did that with Puma and Mundo. So they wrestled smart. Puma hit. Puma tried his best. At one point, he hit a Canadian destroyer on a Pentagon. At the end of the match here, he went for a 630 splash. Vampiro, who by the way is in a suit the whole time, he usually is never in a suit. He was in a suit for this show. He went over to Pentagon, pulled Pentagon out of the way as Puma was doing a 630 splash. Before Puma could realize what was going on, Pentagon super kicked Puma right in the face. Hit the Pentagon driver, and then got Puma with in the packaged pile driver position. And now Pentagon Dark, has finally won the Lucha Underground Championship. I'm like one of the biggest Pentagon fans you'll know. I could not be more happier. Puma, of course, the stipulation for the Johnny Mundo match was that, I almost forgot to mention, stipulation for the Mundo Puma match was that Puma's career would be on the line in turn for Johnny Mundo's title. In his career in Lucha Underground, I should say. Then Dario Cueto, before the match started, he came up, when both men were in the ring, he had the stipulation where no matter who won, if Puma won, if Pentagon won, whoever the loser was, had lost his career in the temple and had to leave the temple. So now, that basically writes Prince Puma off of Lucha Underground, and now Ricochet can do whatever he wants. Pentagon cuts a promo, and of course, Cero Miedo. It was a great image with him with the belt. Then, like with the ending of Season 1, we didn't get it with Season 2 too much. We got it with Season 1, though. We got that awesome package, like video package, where what happened, teasing what will happen in Season 4. Now that we have a Season 4, we know a lot of this at least will happen, except for one thing. I hope the Lord it doesn't. We see Prince Puma walk out of the temple, we see him take off his mask, and we see him walk out. We never see his face, even though we know it's what Ricochet looks like. We never see his face, which was really clever and creative, I gotta say. It was really clever they didn't do that. But the last we do see of Prince Puma was his mask laying on the ground. It was sad. Then we get a shot of King Cuerno in his cabin, I guess. He's got the gauntlet in like a glass case, like a trophy. Then Sexy Star was like, you know, thanking people. Little girl came up to her saying, "We're not through with you yet." Gives her a box. She opens it up, and Rosemary comes out and beats the crap out of Sexy Star. I wish that was the case. No, but it was a spider, so clearly it was a message from Mariposa. Apparently Sexy Star still hates spiders. Seriously. She's got to get over this megalomaniac fear. She was simply pissed off at this. Maybe that's why she attacked Rosemary. She didn't like Mariposa. Next match she had to hurt somebody. Turned out to be Rosemary. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just hope that out of all the things that has continued in Season 4, Sexy Star in any sense is not one of them. I hope she's fired. Because after the way she hurt Rosemary, unprofessional as it was in AAA, it was horrible. Next part, we had Masquerita Sagrada leading the Rabbit Tribe, including Paul London, to where the real leader of the Rabbit Tribe was. Because all this season, they thought like Masquerita Sagrada was their god or something. I don't know. It was entertaining, and Masquerita Sagrada was wearing this golden cape, which is just hilarious to look on him. It was entertaining. We see Fenix get into a really cool, a nice looking car with his quote unquote girlfriend, Melissa Santos. They drive off. We see Catrina looking from the distance. We also see Jeremiah Crane looking at them as well on top of the building. Then we see the return of Daga, who we haven't seen since Season 2. I think it was Ultima Lucha 2 in Season 2, because apparently his contract with AAA ended or something like that. He left AAA. And he then came back, and because of Pindar not listening to Cobra Moon, because Cobra Moon technically is the queen, he got his head cut off by Daga. So at least, and if you recall in Season 2, Cobra Moon had a thing for Daga. So at least there's a little bit of good, nice continuity here. We see Pindar's head cut off. I guess Daga now will be part of the trio. Then we see Vampiro in his little area, his little sanctuary, and he talks to his master, his maestro. See, I'm working on my Spanish. And says that Pentagon Dark is now the champion. Puma's gone, which apparently was the whole goal. It was the plan from Season 2. After Pentagon Dark lost his match to Matanza in Season 2, they came up with a plan. A season-long plan. Pentagon would look like he was against Vampiro, when in reality they were a cohesive unit. Vampiro would get Puma under his wing, and at the last second stab Puma right in the back when it mattered most. Then his maestro said, if I recall correctly, his master said Pentagon Dark will also have to be dealt with at some point. I think that's what happened. Then we see Matanza Cueto behind the bars in a little jail cell. Then across in the same jail area, we see Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio is indeed alive. Then we see the black representative of whoever this leader, master is, of Dario Cueto. He says, "Your gauntlet's gone." Cueto says, "It'll be taken care of." His representative is like, "You're right. We'll be taken care of." Then he pulls out a gun. He shoots Dario Cueto. Dario Cueto, his body, the black representative, he's gone. Dario Cueto is trying to get to his phone. He dials a number, and we hear a voice. We don't know who it is, but we hear a voice on the other end of the line, and then Dario Cueto passes out. Let us hope that Dario Cueto is not dead. If he is dead, that'll be sad, because one of the greatest things about Lucha Underground was Dario Cueto. He was the man. Because he was an actor first. He wasn't a wrestling personality. He was an actor. Who knew getting an actor for an acting gig for a wrestling show would be awesome? It was. So, Ultima Lucha Tres. Up until recently, we thought it was the last Lucha Underground shows. This review has gone on now an hour and a half. I apologize. I do and I don't. I apologize because it went so long, but I don't because there was a lot to talk about, and I wanted to talk about it. Anyway, so, as of recording this, because I'm recording this on a Wednesday, I probably will not be uploading this because our internet is so shot right now. But I will try to record more videos, and if and when I can do it, I will, as soon as I can, I will upload these videos, including this review. I'll have my ratings and all that stuff down in the description down below. Make sure to, if you want to, ask me questions on my ask.fm account. My original ask.fm account got screwed over because, you know, ask.fm could be a jerk. If you want, you know, a place where you can just go in and ask questions anonymously, go to this link down below. The link is, it's just my name, Luke Nogales. Although, if with ask.fm/Luke Nogales with 2 S's. So put 2 S's at the end of Nogales. But I'll put the link down in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, if you have any video recommendations, go ahead. I've been meaning to do movie reviews, but I got so much wrestling to catch up on that that's gonna have to wait for a while. So until then, guys, be well, stay safe, have a good day, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time with the next video, which I think will be my Great Balls of Fire review. I'm gonna go from WWE pay-per-views, then NXT takeovers, then review Bound for Glory, that horrible, horrible show that was, from what I heard. And then go to the WCPW and all that stuff. I'll try my best. So until next time, guys, peace, have a good day, and just stay safe, guys. It's a crazy world out there. Stay safe. Have a good day.